What if I told you that the most dangerous person in any room isn't the loudest, the strongest, or the richest? It's the one who feels nothing, not because they're broken, but because they chose to be that way. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji, a fictional high school student from the anime Classroom of the Elite, is considered by millions of fans to be the most psychologically advanced character ever written. He doesn't panic. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't fall in love, not in the way that makes you vulnerable. He calculates, he observes, and he wins every single time. But here's the part that nobody talks about: the psychology behind Ayanokoji isn't fiction. It's real. It has a name, and science has studied it for decades. Today, we're going to break it all down: what emotional suppression really is, why it works when it destroys you, and what you can actually steal from Ayanokoji's mindset without losing your humanity. Stay until the end, because the last point is the one most self-improvement channels are too afraid to say out loud. For those unfamiliar, Kiyotaka Ayanokoji is the protagonist of Classroom of the Elite, a Japanese light novel adapted into anime. He was raised inside something called the White Room, an isolated government facility designed to strip children of all emotion, attachment, and individuality to produce the perfect human. The result? A teenager who scores in the top percentile of every subject, who manipulates people with surgical precision, who lets others take credit and blame while he controls every outcome from the shadows. He says it himself: people are tools. Now, before you close this video thinking this is glorifying sociopathy, hear me out. Ayanokoji is a mirror. He reflects back the parts of human behavior that we already do, just unconsciously. Impulsively, destructively. Getting jealous in relationships? That's emotional interference costing you logic. Making decisions when you're angry? That's your amygdala hijacking your prefrontal cortex. Crying at a job interview because you wanted it too much? That's attachment distorting performance. Ayanokoji simply removes those interference patterns. The question isn't whether he's a monster. The question is, what can you borrow from his operating system? Let's talk about what's actually happening in the brain. Psychologists call it emotional regulation, the ability to monitor, evaluate, and modify your emotional reactions. But there's a more advanced form called cognitive reappraisal, where instead of suppressing an emotion, you literally reframe the meaning of the situation so the emotion never fully fires. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals high in cognitive reappraisal had better mental health outcomes, stronger social relationships, and higher performance in high-stakes environments. In other words, the ability to emotionally detach on command isn't psychopathy. It's a skill. Now here's where it gets Ayanokoji level interesting. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio ran studies on patients with damage to the prefrontal cortex, the emotional center of the brain. These patients couldn't feel emotion. You'd think they'd make better decisions, right? Wrong. They were paralyzed. They couldn't decide what to have for lunch. They couldn't evaluate risk. They couldn't prioritize. Emotion, it turns out, is necessary for decision-making. But, and this is the key, unregulated emotion destroys decision-making. The optimal state is not zero emotion. It's controlled emotion. Think of it like a car's engine. You need fuel, that's emotion. But without a throttle, you crash. Ayanokoji has a perfect throttle. And that's the real lesson. Now let's break down the 5 psychological principles Ayanokoji operates and how you can apply each one in your real life. Principle 1. Observe before you react. Ayanokoji never reacts immediately. He watches. He collects data. In one scene, a classmate publicly humiliates him. His reaction? Silence. Not because he's weak, because he's storing the information for later use. The psychological principle here is called stimulus response. Delay, a core technique in cognitive behavioral therapy. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote that between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space is our power to choose our response. Real-life application. Next time someone disrespects you in a meeting, in a relationship, in traffic, count to 5 before you respond. Not to be passive, to be precise. Principle 2. Detach your identity from outcomes. When Ayanokoji's plan fails, and sometimes they do, he doesn't spiral. He adjusts. This is because his self-worth is not tied to the outcome. Psychologists call this non-contingent self-esteem Your value as a person doesn't rise or fall with your results. Compare this to most people. Fail a test, feel like a failure. Lose a client, feel worthless. Get rejected, feel unlovable. That's contingent self-esteem. It's a cage. Real-life application. Start journaling outcomes separately from identity. Write, I failed at X. Not, I am a failure. The words you use rewire your brain over time. Principle 3. Never let them see your ceiling. Ayanokoji deliberately performs below his maximum. In the White Room, this was trained into him never show your full hand. In psychology, this connects to strategic impression management, a concept studied extensively in organizational behavior. When people know your maximum, they calibrate their expectations. They know when to fear you and when not to. When people don't know your ceiling, you're unpredictable. Unpredictability is power. Real-life application. Stop volunteering your full capabilities in environments where people haven't earned that knowledge. Your skills are not a performance for everyone to evaluate. Principle 4. Use people's emotions as data, not drama. In every interaction, Ayanokoji asks one question, not, how do I feel about this? But what does this person's behavior tell me about what they want? This is called mentalizing in psychology, the ability to understand others, mental states and motivations. Research from the University of Cambridge shows that high mentalizers are more socially successful, more influential, and better at navigating conflict. Real-life application. In your next difficult conversation, instead of preparing what you'll say, prepare what the other person needs to feel in order to say yes. Shift from self-expression to strategic empathy. Principle 5. Your biggest weapon is their underestimation. Ayanokoji is in Class D, he lowest-ranked class. He chooses to be there. Because no one watches Class D, no one expects Class D to win. And by the time they do, it's too late. Psychologically, this maps to the dark horse. Advantage, a concept in behavioral economics where low-expectation players consistently outperform because they face less psychological pressure and more freedom to experiment. Real-life application. Stop correcting people who underestimate you. Let them. Every moment they're underestimating. Every moment they're underestimating you is a moment they're not preparing for you. Now here's where I need to be real with you. This is what most self-improvement channels skip. Ayanokoji's emotional detachment comes at a cost. In the story, he admits he doesn't know how to form genuine connections. He can simulate closeness. He can perform warmth, but he doesn't know if he's ever truly felt it. That's not power. That's a prison with an expensive interior. Research on emotional suppression, not regulation. But suppression consistently shows higher cortisol levels, more cardiovascular stress, worse long-term memory, relationship decay, and in extended cases, clinical alexithymia, the complete inability to identify and describe emotions. So let me be clear about the difference. Emotional regulation means you feel it, you name it. You choose how and when to express it. Healthy, high-performing, sustainable. Emotional suppression means you feel it. You bury it, you pretend it doesn't exist. Short-term gains, long-term implosion. Ayanokoji is a masterclass in regulation in the story. It produces a weapon, not a person. Don't aim to be a weapon. Aim to be a strategist. So what do you actually do with all of this? Here's a 4-week starter framework, the Ayanokoji. Operating system adapted for real human beings. Week 1 observation mode. For 7 days, say 20% less than you normally would. In meetings, in conversations, in group chats, observe more. Respond less. Take mental notes on what people reveal when you stop filling silence. Week 2 emotion labeling. Every time you feel a strong emotion, pause and name it with precision. Not, I'm upset. Specifically, what are you feeling? Embarrassed? Disrespected? Afraid of losing control? Precision kills the emotion's power over you. Week 3 strategic patience. Identify one situation in your life where you've been reacting impulsively. Commit to a 24-hour rule before any major response or decision in that area. Week 4, expectation management. Stop announcing your plans. Stop explaining your moves. Execute, then reveal. Watch how differently people treat a result versus a promise. That's your first month. It won't make you Ayanokoji, but it'll make you better than you were. And that's the whole point. The world will always reward the person who is calm when everyone else is spiraling. Ayanokoji is fiction. But the psychology he represents is one of the most studied and validated fields in behavioral science. You don't have to kill your emotions. You just have to stop letting them drive. If this video made you think differently, drop a comment telling me which of the 5 principles hit you hardest. I read every single one. Subscribe to Psyche, motive for more videos that go where the rest of the internet won't. And share this with someone who thinks being emotional is a strength. Let's have that conversation. See you in the next one.